Moving along the same wall is a display of football figures here. And before I go ahead and show you these football figures and break them down for you, just want to add something here. For those of you for those of you who are left viewing my video, first off, thank you for sticking around this long to view all this stuff. If you're truly interested in it, I really appreciate it. But anyway, regarding these figures here that you're seeing, before I shot this video, I actually had to run upstairs and see what series these are from. Because nowhere in the package, as you're seeing there, like on these Tomlinsons, nowhere on there do you see it telling you what series these are from. And you know, I've been collecting these for 20-something years now, so you lose track after a while. As sharp as my mind is, sometimes I have to go to the computer reference, like, what series am I talking about here in my video? So anyway, this is series 16 you're seeing here. And we'll just start at the top here with these Frank Gores. The regular there in the red. And this actual white jersey Frank Gore is a Kmart exclusive. And again, for those who hunt these things down over the years, or have hunted them down, you know that as far as Kmart stores go, after like 2002 or maybe 2003, there was really no reason for sports pick collectors to go to Kmart for sports picks, simply because they didn't really carry them after that. But around the year 2008 or so, Kmart got this Frank Gore figure as an exclusive, along with essentially this entire Series 16. So they got cases of 16 that you're seeing here. And the white jersey Gore was a Kmart exclusive. So once again, a reason to shop Kmart again for sports picks. They had a little rebirth there. Small as it was, though. Down below, we got Steve McNair Chase figure. The rug has him featured as a member of the Ravens, but the Chase has him in the throwback Houston Oilers jersey that he wore early in his career. Here's Terrell Owens of the Dallas Cowboys, only one version of him. Alan Faneca, one of the rare offensive linemen. We talked about that. That's a surprise figure. There's only a few offensive tackles or linemen that exist. Here's the only figure of Brady Quinn, who was considered hopeful at one point, but it's Cleveland, I guess. And then a regular in Chase LaDainian Tomlinson. Very cool, sitting on the bench there with the helmet off. Got the cup in his hand, like he's drinking some water. Just cool figures right there at Tomlinson. And then down here you got Champ Bailey. Again, only one version of him is a Bronco. We saw him upstairs earlier as a member of the Georgia Bulldogs. And then here's a leftover figure from Series 14 of Larry Johnson. I just couldn't fit this one on the other display, so I had to throw them over here with these figures. I forgot to point out these couple of cards. Brandon Saad and Alshon Jeffrey rookie cards, autographs. Those I forgot in my card presentation, so I get them in here. Making our way down the wall to the floor. On this display, we have some Series 8 baseball that you're seeing here as well. And we'll start right here with these two figures of Jeff Bagwell. The regular figure in the red jersey, the Chase in the white. And I believe that white jersey Chase was given to me by Mo. So there's some more Mo love there. Thank you, Mo. Here's Kevin Brown, Reg and Chase. Actually, two Chase figures. This is the Chase version in the gray Dodgers jersey. And below and back there behind him, there's a version of him when he got traded to the Yankees that McFarlane made in the gray Yankees jersey, which also I believe was like a Chase version of him. Here's Alfonso Serrano Pinstripes Chase figure. Reg and Chase Alex Rodriguez. Reg in the blue there, and Chase in the gray with the Rangers. And then there are some retro figures down here. Mike Piazza started his career with the Dodgers. See the retro sticker on there, Chase figure. Sammy Sosa, of course, began his career with the White Sox. And this was a Richie Sexson, like, retro Chase figure with the Brewers. Sexson played for a few different teams in his career. And the Brewers was one of them. And we finish out the Series 8 here with Hideki Matsui. He was a pretty good slayer for the Yankees. There's his regular in the gray. And his Chase in the pinstripes there. John Smoltz, Hall of Fame pitcher, gray jersey Chase figure. And then down below, these are what they call Big League Challenge figures. And you're seeing one there of Alex Rodriguez. These were all Chase figures, and they featured some of the big hitters of the game at the time in their all-star home run jerseys. The Big League Challenge. There's Lance Berkman there. Here is Troy Gloss. And on the end is Pat Burrell. And then working back down to the floor, we see a fairly large here display that consists of some hockey figures and mostly a lot of baseball figures. Starting from top left of the display, we're going to see some NHL Series 1 and 2 figures, starting with the Yvonne Cornway white Chase jersey figure. Habs great. Here's a Reg and Chase jersey, Gary Cheevers, Hall of Fame goaltender from Boston. Reg there in the dark Boston jersey, and white Chase version with that very cool mask, where Cheevers would paint a stitch into his mask every time he got hit by a puck in the mask. And there's Wayne Gretzky, Reg and Chase. Reg in the dark, Chase in the white, the Oilers. There's Gretzky features a king in a celebration pose, commemorating when he broke the record with that goal, the record-setting goal. Only one version of that one. Frank Mahovlich, white jersey Leafs Chase figure. The legend Jean Beliveau, white Habs jersey Chase. Islanders great Mike Bossy, in a blue jersey Chase figure there. And a Phil Esposito, Reg and Chase. Reg features a Boston Bruin, and the Chase version where he's featured as a New York Ranger, where he spent later his career. There's more Gretzky as the LA King, white jersey Chase, dark jersey, or white jersey Reg, dark jersey Chase figure. And the hockey continues over here. Another Wayne Gretzky, white jersey Chase figure from the Series 2 now Oilers. A Reg and Chase Grant Fuhr from that same era, white jersey Reg, and dark jersey Chase. And now we're into some baseball with Series 10 here. There's a Garrett Anderson white jersey Chase figure. Roger Clemens, Reg and Chase with the Chase in the gray. There's Carlos Delgado, white jersey Chase figure. Mark Mulder, Reg and Chase, former A's pitcher. Here's a guy who probably should be in the Hall of Fame but isn't. Rafael Palmeiro. Reg jersey as an Oriole and the Chase as a Ranger. There's a gray jersey, road jersey, Annie Pettitte Chase figure. Yankees. Continuing on the baseball over here. Albert Pujols, Reg and Chase. Reg in the white, and then the Chase in the gray jersey. There's a Kurt Schilling gray jersey Chase. Miguel Tejada, Baltimore Orioles surprise Chase figure there. There's a couple All-Star FanFest figures of Jeff Bagwell and Roger Clemens when the All-Star game was featured in Houston that year. Those are available at the FanFest show. And finishing off the display, we see some Major League Baseball Cooperstown figures. These are Series 1, the original Cooperstown inaugural wave figures. We'll start with Yogi Berra, and that's the Chase version of him, where he's featuring wearing a ball cap. The regular version has him in a batting helmet, but the Chase version a ball cap. One of the greatest pitchers ever, Bob Gibson, the gray jersey Chase figure. Here we see Reggie again, regular as a pinstripe Yankee, and the Chase where he was a rookie, spent with the Oakland A's in his rookie year. There are a couple Nolan Ryan figures. The regular features him as a New York Ranger late in his career. And here Nolan's features a member of the Astros, probably back in the mid to late 70s or early 80s, with those spiffy jerseys they wore. We saw that on Joe Morgan earlier. And then one of the greatest third basemen of all time, Brooks Robinson, gray jersey Chase figure, Oriole. Tom Seaver features a member of the Boston Red Sox Chase figure. The regular has him a member of the New York Mets. Here's a Collectors Club exclusive Jason Varitek figure that has him with the diorama inside home plate as well as the umpire. Much easier to get this one than those Deion figures, those Deion Sanders Club exclusives. More Cooperstown figures here on the cardboard backing. There's George Brett, one of the greatest hitters of all time and a KC Royal great. Hall of Fame reliever Raleigh Fingers, where he sports that token handlebar mustache. Here's Lou Gehrig. We saw him previous, the sepia Chase version. Here's a regular version where he's got the microphone. He's about to deliver his Greatest Man Alive speech. Bo Jackson, of which I always found interesting that if you look at this Bo Jackson figure and you compare it to this Raleigh Fingers figure, Fingers looks considerably larger. I don't know why Todd did that, because I would think Bo in real life, with his physique, would be a larger individual than Fingers, but so be it. Two versions of Babe Ruth as a pitcher. One there as a Yankee. And then, yeah, he did some pitching for the Red Sox as well before he got traded. And there's a Super Chase version of this route that exists. I think there's only two in existence, where he has the solid ball cap on. You'll see the blue McFarlane tape around it to indicate Super Chase. I think one was found in Colorado at some hobby shop. That's from a case that some customer bought. And there was, again, Red Sox. And this figure of Nolan Ryan is particularly cool. I want to show it to you here. If you look close, you'll see blood coming off his lip and on his jersey there. Made to recreate that famous time in '94 when Robin Ventura, member of the White Sox, is up to bat, and Ryan hits him, and Ventura charged a mound on him. At that time, Ventura had to be in his 20s and Ryan in his 40s, and he blooded him up a little bit. Just very cool. Very cool figure there. And then we include a 12-inch Michael Vick figure right here. So now that brings us back into this little room that is in the corner of my basement. And here you're seeing some sports figures on the wall displays. And this room should look at least somewhat familiar because we took you in this room to show you the sports cards. Remember here in the binders and in the commons boxes. So we're in that same room. And I want to show you the sports figures in this room, which mostly consist of Kenner Hasbro starting lineups. You're seeing a bunch of them there in basketball. And some Mattel basketball figures down there, which took over for after Hasbro stopped doing basketball. There's actually not very many sports picks from McFarlane in here. You're seeing the display there. But again, it's mostly a lot of Hasbro Kenner starting lineups, as well as other random sports stuff in here, figures and otherwise, that I'd like to show you those in just a few minutes. So we'll start here in the corner of the room on this display and just work clockwise. This is Hasbro starting lineup NHL figures from '99-2000, which was the last year Hasbro would produce hockey figures or really any sports figures. In 2000, Todd McFarlane would take over. Here's an Ed Belfour Dallas Stars figure, Hall of Fame goaltender. Another Hall of Famer, Ray Bourque, 18-time NHL All-Star, members of Bruins. And there is the Avalanche, where he won the Stanley Cup. There you got Rod Brindamore, Anson Carter. Here's kind of a cool figure of Darian Hatcher hoisting the Stanley Cup when he won the Cup with the Stars in '99. Wayne Gretzky hoisted one of his many cups. That's a Walmart exclusive. There's enforcer Mike Greer, Stefan Facette, Adam Denmarsh. A couple of goalies here in Guy Hebert and Artur Zerbay. Future Hall of Famer Jaromir Jagr. Curtis Joseph, who should be in the Hall of Fame in my opinion. And there's Keith Primo, Adam Oates, Patrick Elias. Here's a first figure released of Vincent Lecavalier. I think he was only in his second year at that point. He's a younger man. There's Saku Koivu. Then down here you got Joe Sakic, Nicholas Sundstrom, John Van Beesbroek is a member of the Islanders, Steve Yzerman. And then below those are a couple autographs. Here's one personalized to me from White Sox legend Minnie Minoso, number 9. Like a piece of paper. And this is actually goaltender Don Beaupre of the Washington Capitals. Self-addressed stamp envelope many, many years ago I sent him with a picture and a card in there, and he signed them all. And he returned them to me, personalized to me as well. Very gracious signer, Don Beaupre. And then moving along the wall, the hockey figures from starting lineup continue on this display with some single card of ones and then some 2-packs. These two conclude the '99-2000 line. That's goaltender Ron Tugnut in 2 versions. Here features a Penguin, and there's a Blue Jacket. The Blue Jackets version was a harder one to find because it was the first Blue Jackets figure released by Hasbro. Then here are the previous year's figures, '98-99 starting lineup hockey figures. There's Chris Pronger, Keith Primo, Sergei Samsonov, Peter Forsberg. Then down below here in the second row starts some 2-packs. Here's a Chris Osgood, Steve Yzerman 2-pack feature with the cup. These ones on yellow card I found at Myers retail store. I don't remember if they were Myers exclusive, but I found them at Myers. Here's a Patrick Waugh, John LeClaire 2-pack that features the cup from when they were with teammates in '92-93 with the Habs. Here's Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier with the cup. Again, flashing back to their '87-'88 cup year. Got Mike Vernon, Sergei Fedorov in this one, '96-'97. Scott Stevens, Martin Brodeur, which I particularly like. It's pretty cool. And there's Grant Fuhr, Wayne Gretzky. Patrick Waugh, Joe Sakic. 2 all-star goaltenders, and Olaf Kolzig and Patrick Waugh in a different pose there. Paul Kariya, Miroslav Shatan. And on the end there, kind of hard to see though, is Jaromir Jagr and Pavel Bure. And in the corner, moving along the top of the wall, is the last of the NHL 2-packs. There's Sergei Fedorov, Peter Forsberg. And then here we begin these starting lineup elite baseball figures. And you can see in scale, they're more resembling now McFarlane Sports Picks. They're 6-inch in scale. Maybe not so much in detail, but at least in scale. And we start here with a Ken Griffey Jr. Stadium Club, or Stadium Star Elite that comes with a Pacific Trading Card and the ball cap backwards. There's Mark McGuire, Mike Piazza in the pinstripes, and Sammy Sosa. And it was hard back in '98 to find anything McGuire and Sosa just because of the home run race in the summer. Here, and I apologize for the glare, is a Kobe Bryant Mattel 12-inch figure with a cloth top on, a cloth jersey. And again, I realize it's hard to see because of the bad glare coming off the package. Here's a Stadium Star Wayne Gretzky figure issued by Hasbro in the 3rd jersey Rangers. Here's an old starting lineup figure of Jimmy McMahon. Compliments of Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. Here's a Stadium Giveaway Blackhawk Broadcasters, one of Dale Talon and Pat Foley, Hall of Fame broadcasters. This is a Maximum Air Michael Jordan 2-pack issued by Mattel. We're going to talk more about these Jordan figures in just a little while. And there's a Stadium exclusive bust of Roberto Clemente. Moving down that same display, we see here more Hasbro starting lamps and a few Mattel basketball figures. Here on this shelf, we see 2 exclusives from Hasbro starting lineup and then an interesting Jason Kidd figure, and I'll tell you why it's interesting in just a minute. Here's John Van Beesbrook. Features a member of the Florida Panthers goaltender from the Collectors Club, as it says there, from '95. This one is actually from the National Convention. You can see their Convention Special '98. Yes, they actually used to have their own national convention. Hasbro did for their starting lineups and issue exclusive figures, just like McFarlane. And there you see Jerry Rice in kind of like his practice shorts there and jersey. And again, was only available at the convention, I believe, held in Anaheim that year, as it says there on the label. I mentioned this Jason Kidd figure kind of interesting, and here's why. First off, it comes from a line of college figures called Fame. And there was a handful of NBA players, both past and present, back in the late 90s when this came out, that were featured all in their college uniforms. But what makes this Jason Kidd figure kind of softer and unique is the fact that early in the production, this figure was pulled by Hasbro because of some licensing dispute between California, where you can see Kid went to college there, attended college in California, and the Hasbro company itself. They had some licensing dispute and had to pull this Jason Kidd figure early in the production. And I found it at a retail store and wound up with it and didn't even realize till weeks or months later that it was rare because of it being pulled early on. And so I put it in this little case here, and I got it sitting right here in my collection. The Jason Kidd figure that really should have never been issued, I suppose. Here's a Collectors Club freeze frame 4-pack of Wayne Gretzky. It was available only through the Starting Line Collectors Club, and it features Gretzky on all 4 teams that he played: Rangers, Blues, Kings, and Oilers. Then down here on the bottom shelf is a Mattel 5-pack Team USA that features Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, Allen Houston, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett, all in their solid blue USA jerseys with the gold medals on them. And kind of a cool pack there. And then over here is a Dennis Rodman exclusive 3-pack that features him in the 3 teams he played for there: the Pistons, the Spurs, and of course the Bulls. I'll now take you to the bottom of this display where we see more of those Hasbro NHL figures from '98-'99. And again, you're just kind of seeing some of the big names of that time, like goalies like Jeff Hackett, Dom Hasek, Ole Kolzig, Nikolai Habibulin. You see Gretzky over here. Down here, got Mario Lemieux, Curtis Joseph, Paul Correa. Special Mario Lemieux figure down here where he's hoisting the Stanley Cup, which I believe was a Collectors Club exclusive. And then to take you to the top of the display, show you some wrestling figures. Here are 2 figures of Roddy Piper from Jakks Pacific, and they're very limited and very hard to find. This one here, the 1 of 3,000, that features Piper in the black leather jacket with the special Panther shirt on, I think. That was actually a Toy Fair mail-away exclusive. You can see on the top package there, Toy Fair Wizard exclusive. For those who remember the magazine Toy Fair that existed back, I don't know, 15 plus years ago, there used to be mail away exclusives where you had to hurry up, find the issue, buy it, and then mail away for your figure and hope you got there in time. And that was one of them that I mailed away for. This one here is even more limited, one of 1,800. It's a convention exclusive where it shows Piper in the dark hot rod or the black hot rod shirt. And that was provided to me by Mo. So again, thank you, Mo, from a convention he attended for wrestling figures. Here's another such figure as Sergeant Slaughter down here at the bottom of this display. Again, it was a Toy Fair Wizard mail-away exclusive. Features him in the exclusive fatigues. There was also a version of him as the heel that was even more rare and cost more money. And then down there next to Slaughter are a couple of 3-packs. I was a big fan of the female wrestler Lita back in the day. I pretty much bought anything Lita. There she is featured in a 3-pack with the Hardy Boys. You can still see the Kmart sticker on there. And that might have even been a Kmart exclusive. I don't remember specifically. And there she is again in a different outfit with the Hardy Boys in that 3-pack. Here's a Ricky Williams figure. Kind of an odd looking one, I know. And one of Gabe Kapler. These actually came packaged inside a box of 98 Just Minor League Baseball cards that I found back at a retail store. You buy the box of cards and you get like 15 packs or something like that and a figure of Ricky Williams, who briefly played minor league baseball in the Philadelphia Phillies minor league system, as you can see there. And then Gabe Kapler was a top prospect back in 98, who was managing the Phillies, I think, till they fired him just recently. And again, you see him there in the bat pose. And now we're looking at the display that's above the table in my room, again, moving clockwise along the wall. And this display has the earliest of my hockey starting lineup figures here on the yellow backs. These are the ones that I got from my collection back in 1997-98. And there you just see a lot of the big names of the late 90s in the game. There's Thornton, Waugh, Potvin. There's Hasek, Gretzky, Ed Belfour, Tony Amani. Here's Eric Lindros. I can remember collecting these back then, that the goalie figures like this Van Beesbrook here, they were always tougher to find than your standard forwards. By way of comparison, as tough as it might be to find this like Hobby Bullen or that Trevor Kidd, on the end here, this Paul Correa, that would be like the peg warmer figure. You walk in your Toys R Us, there was 6 or 7 of those Correas on the peg, not moving. And as the more veteran collector you became, the more you start to realize that it's not going to move until it goes to clearance, marked down to like $1 or $2. So. And now I'm moving down, we're on the actual tabletop here. And on the top of the tabletop, I have these pieces, and you're seeing kind of the top of that Jason Williams there. And now here you can better, and that one's kind of hard to get at because it's behind this lamp. But here's a better one, a better view, I should say, of one. It's Allen Iverson with the cornrows there. These are called Radical Rides. They're from Mattel. I think they were back from about 1999 or so. And what they were was a mix of like basketball and die cast. Here's one Kevin Garnett, where you see a car there that's got to be maybe 1 in 58 scale, I'm guessing. It's definitely larger than a 1 in 64 scale car. And inside of it sits this kind of mini bobblehead looking NBA figure, which I thought were cool. Here's the crown jewel of the collection, the Michael Jordan. Anything Jordan was hard to find back in the day. Still is if it were out there, which there really isn't. But yeah, anything Jordan was just, that'd be the first off the peg, off the shelf. Because any Jordan is just white hot. And there's Tim Duncan from that collection. And then in front here is a couple loose starting lineup figures. I think it's Albert Bell of the Cleveland Indians. And here's a loose, speaking of Michael Jordan, starting lineup Jordan, I think from 88 or 89. I took it out of the package because I think some guy sold to me for like $10 if I remember. But the package was really beat up. So I just thought it'd be better if I removed it because, who wants to display in a really beat up package. So there it sits loose there. And we're on the end of that same display, moving clockwise again along the wall. And I'm showing you here a few McFarlane sports figures there. Saw a couple of football, and there's some hockey. And I said when we came into the room here that I didn't have very many sports picks in the room, and I don't. Those are the only ones I have along with these here you're seeing, because now we're heading to the corner of the room. So analyzing these though, top to bottom, there's a Matt Castle white jersey chase figure from NFL Series 22. And then here's Adrian Peterson from that same series. Down here are 3 Team Canada figures. There you see Roberto Luongo and teammates Sidney Crosby, and down here Jerome McGinley. And these were Canada exclusives. And white jersey, bronze chase level chase figures exist of them. So there's white jerseys in all of these. Again, they're bronze level. I think 2,000 of those were produced. And these were unnumbered because they're the regs. But I didn't get them from my collection because I already have Roberto Luongo and Sidney Crosby in white jerseys. So I thought to myself, and I think Jerome McGinley too, I do. So I thought to myself, what do I need another white jersey for? So I passed on those. Then go back up to the top of this display. There you see from NFL Series 22, Matt Forte, Reg and Chase. And then Matt Ryan here, regular in the red. And Chase in all black, which is sharp. A super Chase version of that one exists with white pants. There's less than 100 of that one, I think. And then here you see some hockey. And here's a Bobby Orr white chase figure. And I believe it's a silver level chase. And that's compliments of Carm. Carm, I keep plugging you in this video. I just got to say, my man, I want to make you a household name around the world if anybody bothers to watch this video. I want to make you the Carol Baskins of my videos, Carm. I do. If you know Carol Baskins, guys. Anyway, getting back to it here. There's Teemu Selanne reg. Marc-Andre Fleury, that's a reg. There's a chase version where he's actually got his glove and blocker like on the ice behind him with a red carpet. There's Gordie Howe and the Whalers. Other chase versions exist of that one that I don't have in my collection. There's Luke Shen white jersey chase. Alex Ovechkin white jersey chase. Here's Mika Kiprutsov Regan chase. Regan the white. Regan the red chasing the white from a Canada exclusive wave, if I'm not mistaken. And down here is Martin Brodeur. Just a nice figure. Alex Ovechkin. Shane Doan. That's compliments of Mo. That was like the first like collector's level hockey figure out there was this Shane Doan. Bronze, I think, to 2,000 in that one. And again, thank you, Mo. We'll make you Carol Baskin. No, we'll make you somebody else, Mo. Carm's already had Carol Baskin. There's a white jersey Gretzky chase. Regan Chase Theo Fleury here. Regan Chase Mario Lemieux from the Legends. There's a couple of Terry Sawchuk, very sharp there, as a leaf and a wing. Maurice Richard and Carey Price here in the white jersey. And as I said, next to them, Maurice Richard. And these two figures are part of a Canada exclusive wave of hockey. Because I remember back in the day, I had a trade with a Spawn board guy. Those who remember the Spawn board days, was a primary place to get stuff. But I had a trade with a guy from the Spawn board to get those two, a Canadian. And then back on this wall here, these are the Hasbro NBA starting lineup figures that you're seeing here with the red card. And these are from the same time frame, late 90s, 97, 98, 99, I believe. And so it's there over here. This late one's from 96 extended series. Shaq in a dark blue Lakers jersey. Then you come into 97 here is Ray Allen, Terrell Brandon, Michael Finley, Grant Hill. Once again, the big names of the day of the late 90s. There's Kevin Garnett, Jason Kidd, Antoine Walker, Chris Webber. Got an extended series like the last Series 8 issue, which is usually shorter, only maybe 8 or 9 figures in this wave. Rookies and traded guys. And there's Anthony Mason, traded to the Hornets, I think from the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken, the extended series with a sticker. There's Eddie Jones, Luke Longley, his first figure, and Tony McDyess. Here's a rookie figure of Keith Van Horn, the number 2 overall pick in the draft. The most softer figure from this wave at that time, if I remember correctly, was Tim Duncan. Every collector out there was after the Tim Duncan from the extended series in the dark jersey. But, you know, Keith, I never found it, and Van Horn was kind of like the consolation prize. Here from 98, there's a couple nice ones there. It's Kobe, and that's Iverson from the 98 series. And they continue down here with Garnett again. There's Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, Steph Marbury, Shaq in the warmth outfit there. And these are NBA players in their college jerseys from that previously seen Fame wave of 98, I believe. We saw the Jason Kidd in the California jersey that was pulled from production. And so here's more from that wave right here. I think it's Ron Mercer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in UCLA, Mike Bibby, Arizona there. Allen Iverson played for Georgetown. Magic Johnson of Michigan State. And Rafe LaFrentz. And just, when you collect figures, you make little interesting comparisons. And one I made here was like, look at the size of Allen Iverson there compared to the size of Magic Johnson. There's like a size disparity there in those two figures. Never quite could figure out why. And to finish it off, here's a Jerry Stackhouse figure from a March Madness wave that I believe was exclusive to Walmart back in the day. On the bottom part of that same display, you're seeing a series of basketball figures here, not produced by Hasbro, but these are produced by Mattel, and they're called NBA Superstars. It was in 1998 that the transition occurred when Hasbro lost the NBA licensing to Mattel, and they picked up and started producing figures of basketball, and they did it for 2 years in 99-2000. And one big thing about that was this, as you can see, Michael Jordan. Yes, there are Jordan figures, and we see some more down here, in the Mattel line. And we know this to be true because, again, back over here, we see Mattel already has, and remember that Jordan Radical Rides? Mattel already has a Jordan license in some capacities. They can produce figures, and I want to take a look at those in just a second here. So we'll start from the end. Again, Kobe figure there from 99. Paired up again with Iverson next to him. Just two legends right there. Yeah, Kevin Garnett. Here's the first Michael Jordan figure you'll see from Mattel. There's also a second version of Jordan, a white jersey. I just don't have it. Jason Kidd, Scottie Pippen, Keith Van Horn. As far as the way these figures look, Antoine Walker, pretty much the same as Hasbro starting lineups. They're same scale. David Robinson there, Scottie Pippen, Mike Bibby. Same scale, same package, cardboard packaging with a clamshell with a little trading card inside. Maybe slightly more detailed, in my opinion, than the Hasbro starting lineup. So for the most part, they use the same formula. Mattel did. Now we're into 99, 2000. There's Allen Iverson again. Larry Legend, Larry Bird. Here's two versions of Kobe from that year. One in the gold jersey, and they're in the purple. That's Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, again, Antoine Jameson, Rafe LaFrentz, they're in the Denver jersey, Shaq. And here on the end are a couple of Team USA figures. We saw the six-pack in the dark jerseys issued by Mattel in the box set. Here's Tim Duncan, an individual card with the white jersey, and next to him, Kevin Garnett. Then below, a couple two-packs. There are Vince Carter. I have those two figures loose up in the showroom bay upstairs next to the Jordan starting lineup in the package. And there's Keith Van Horn. And then over here on the end, again, we saw these earlier up in showroom B in the two-packs. There's an individual card of Kobe Bryant from the Jam series. Again, Mattel produced. So here are the Michael Jordan figures in a collection of figures that feature Jordan by Mattel called Maximum Error. It's a 10-figure set in a two-pack, and the figures are issued in waves of 3. And you're seeing them right here. And yes, I'm going to go into detail and talk about them. But before I actually talk about the figures themselves, I'll just kind of elaborate first on Jordan himself, because as most of my viewing audience is aware, Michael Jordan is a name that is almost bigger than life. He's almost in a class all by himself when it comes to being the most collected athlete on the planet. And so anyway, I get asked a lot of times about, what's the deal with Jordan figures? And it's kind of an interesting little tale, I suppose. It dates back to 1988. We just saw it right here, actually. Back in 1988, Hasbro had the licensing to produce a Michael Jordan little starting lineup figure there that you're seeing. And Hasbro produced starting lineup figures like this one of Jordan from 88 all the way through 92. But then from 92 through 98, Hasbro did not produce any Michael Jordan figures because they couldn't. Because it was in 92 or 93 that Michael Jordan signs an exclusive contract with Upper Deck. So only Upper Deck could produce this figure after that point. However, Michael Jordan also had an existing contract with the Mattel company who was making these figures right here. So when Mattel gets the NBA license, they can also do Michael Jordan in the line. Kind of like picking up where Hasbro had left off for that 6-year gap when they couldn't do Jordan. And so anyway, showing you the figures here. It begins with this little mini silver jam figure. And then down here again, they were issued in waves of 3. So here would be like figures 1, 2, and 3. One there has them in the North Carolina. 2 in the White Bulls. Third figure from that wave in the Black Bulls, third jersey. Then here's figure 4 from the next wave in the Red Bulls. See the highlights. Another Red Bulls jersey there would be 5. Different pose and slam dunk. And 6 figure would be the white jersey Bulls there. Then figures 7, 8, and 9 are all All-Star MVPs. Here was his 88 All-Star MVP version. This one, 96 All-Star MVP. And this one is 98 All-Star MVP. Just beautiful figures in my opinion. Very hard to find, by the way. I had to really track these figures down and get lucky at a Target and Toys R Us, I think. Because I think these, if I remember correctly, these waves were exclusive to certain stores. One wave came through Target, one through Walmart, one through Toys R Us, if I'm not mistaken. And going back and showing you guys the 2-pack that you had seen previous. And again, I apologize for the glare. But yeah, those are the Mattel Jordan figures. And before I move on to showing you some wrestling figures, just want to say with regard to the Michael Jordan figures, please stay tuned. I'm addressing my viewing audience now. Again, what's left of it, if there even was one in the first place. But stay tuned for part 3, the final chapter in this riveting Jordan action figure tale. Okay, now into some wrestling here. In the corner, and again, I just consider wrestling as sports. That's why I'm showing you guys the wrestling figures of the sports figures. Here's Lita. She was a real big draw, female wrestler back in the day in the late 90s and early 2000s. A Fatal 4 with part of the ring there. When I was making the rounds of the retail stores at that time, back in the late 90s and early and mid 2000s and such, I would pick up all kinds of different figures at retail, but I would pick up any figures I see of Lita. For some reason, I liked her. I really don't know why. I just dug her. And we saw the 3-packs. They were over here, if you recall, where she there was featured with the Hardy Boys and those. And then here's some single card of figures of Lita up on this shelf over here. They're from Raw Draft, where she was the number 10 pick. Only 16,250 of those produced. More on that in a bit. Here's Lita with the chair and a little zebra top. There's another Lita in a different top there. And then again, like we touched on this when I was showing you Trish Stratus up in Showroom A. The female figures, like there's Tori Wilson. She's actually in a 2-pack here with Billy Gunn. But I just cover the Gunn figure because again, the Tori Wilson's the big draw of that 2-pack, I think. And that's why I bought it. And there you see her there in the USA. But getting back to female figures, they were always hard to find because they were in much shorter supply than their male counterparts. Now I think they make a lot more female figures now in the modern wrestling action figure market, or what's left of it, than they did back in the day when I was making the rounds back, in the late 90s. Females were tough to find. And another Lita down here, where she's in a 2-pack. I think the 2-pack with might be Kevin Nash, but there she is in like an olive top. And just a few other wrestling figures here. I bought this one of Brock Lesnar. That's actually his rookie figure. Now that is Lesnar's first figure, the King of the Ring from 2002. Yes, it is. That is his first figure. And God only knows how many at this point they've produced of him since. These were those WWE draft figures. And there you see Jeff Hardy. It was kind of weird the way they did these. It was a numbering system. That one's out of 7,500. You saw the leader was 16,000. Where each guy got assigned a number in the draft would reflect upon his circulation number. The Hurricane 7,500, there's Al Snow 6,250. Some of these were really hard to find, but these are the ones that I found. Some were depending on whether number in the draft, maybe only 1,000 of that figure produced, but they had some collectability at least in that regard, in my opinion. I made mention of miscellaneous collectible items contained here in this room and on display in this room. You're seeing them here that run along the top of these shelves. And just kind of going back and starting from back to front here. There's Headliners in the Trenches, Joey Galloway, little mini 3-inch figure with the Seahawks helmet there, limited 10,000. We saw some of these Corinthian Headliners upstairs, made by the company Corinthian. They have the larger scale 6-inch ones and little 3-inch ones here. Here are a series of die-cast cards made by Winner's Circle, who are known for making NASCAR cars or stock cars. Here you see like a 99 Mustang with Randy Moss, Viking themed one. There's Peyton Manning of the Colts, 99 Corvette in that one. Eddie George of the Titans. There's Kurt Warner of the Rams. There's a Jersey Topps Ken Griffey Jr., a little plastic jersey there. These were issued by the Topps company that makes baseball cards back again in the late 90s. And it's plastic jersey top. And they just made different players. I grabbed a Griffey. I found it at Walmart. I have a few others you'll see in my collection. These three cards here are from White Rose Collectibles. They're known for making little die-cast cards packaged up with a trading card. And so here are the three baseball ones you see with the packaged up with a trading card here from 1999. Fleer, Ken Griffey Jr., replica card there, and little mini die-cast vehicle. And then Frank Thomas has one here. And Sean Casey. Then moving on, these were called Topps Flats. It was a trading card, again, produced by the Topps company. Trading card packaged up with a little flat figure that is basically, I'd show it here. The Griffey you see there, he's flat. He's not like three-dimensional and has depth to him. So it's a little flat figure, and you can see it back there behind him packaged up with a little trading card from 99 Topps Baseball. $3, you can see the stickers on there. And again, found them at Walmart back in the day. There's some big names of the late 90s. There's McGuire, you see, Sosa, Bonds, Nomar, Jeter. Here you got Chipper, Maddox, A-Rod. And then football, similarly, again from 99, packaged up with a flat figure, Jamal Anderson, Jerome Bettis, and the exclusive trading card, Mark Brunell, Terrell Davis. You can even see on the card, I could show you here like on the Doug Flutie, the trading card has a little gold foil stamp that says Action Flag to distinguish it from a card you would pull out of a pack, say, for example. Eddie George, Keyshawn Johnson, Randy Moss. And around the corner here, got Randy Moss in a different jersey purple there. Jake Plummer, Emmitt Smith, Fred Taylor. There's a White Rose Collectible Edgerrin James car. Another item from White Rose Collectibles here with the die-cast PT Cruiser there and the trading card. This one of Michael Vick. With the trading card being from 2001 Ultra, which was Vick's rookie year. You can see him there featured in his Virginia Tech college jersey. Something different about this card, though, that distinguishes it from the card you would pull out of a pack of Fleer Ultra cards you would have purchased back in 2001. I don't know exactly what the difference is. It looks identical, at least from that angle and from that view. Maybe some of the back of the card that distinguished it from, again, the ones you would pull out of the pack. And then similarly down here is a Brian Urlacher from White Rose with the 2001 Fleer Ultra card there in the PT Cruiser, because I collect bears. And below him, kind of a random bobblehead of Yao Ming I picked up at Kmart. Kmart had a lot of bobbleheads seemingly back in the day. I found tons of bobbleheads. And now we're up in the soffit of the room here, where some Hasbro Cooperstown baseball figures of legends. There's Tris Speaker, a pre-World War II baseball legend in the Hall of Fame. And a more modern guy like George Brett, there from the Cooperstown collection, I think 1999. Nolan Ryan, Ted Williams. Here we go to some all-century team figures that came out back in 99-2000. There's Johnny Bench, legendary Yankee Lou Gehrig. Number 7, Mickey Mantle there, the great king himself, Babe Ruth. Yeah, when I saw Mantle and Ruth, I mean, I had to have those for the collection. Gehrig too. It's a beautiful figure of Jackie Robinson here in the gray Dodgers. Really is. Really is. Very, very, very proud of that one. Mike Schmidt, in a sliding pose. And then here are some just bobbleheads I got. Sammy Sosa and the pinstripes here. And then the grays are from Upper Deck. We saw some of these upstairs in Showroom B. And then here's Ichiro in the white Mariners and gray Mariners. I believe it was the gray jerseys were the Chase ones on these. And then more over here. Again, I picked up a lot of these bobbleheads at Kmart. There's some basketball ones at Kobe, Allen Iverson. There's Dante Culpepper, Edgerrin James, Randy Moss. There's one of Mark McGuire. And then we're back to a couple more starting lineup figures. These are those elite figures. We saw these previously in the baseball, like larger 6-inch in scale, and they resemble more McFarlane figures now with a Pacific trading card. These are from 2000. Here's a Randy Moss, and over here an Emmitt Smith. And now we're back around to the starting point in the room. And the final display, I want to show you guys the sports collectibles in the room before we move on. Down here's a little bobblehead of Tony Dorsett, Cowboys legendary running back. That was actually a mail away from the Pepsi company. You had to mail away proofs of purchase, and in return they mailed you a bobblehead. So I got that one in a mail away. Then up on the top of the display here, a couple more White Rose collectible cars, die cast of the trading card. There's Albert Pujols, Mo2 Fleer, and there's Ichiro. And then here's kind of a special collectible to me. It is fully intact ticket stubs. And here's the one in purple there. That's actually the Home Run Derby of the All-Star Game. You can see it's dated July 9th, 1990. I did not have a ticket for the All-Star Game that year, but I did have it for the Home Run Derby, which I attended. And then behind that, I want to pull it back here and show you what's behind it. And this is just a partial stub, by the way. It's torn on the end. And there's also a piece of seat from the old Comiskey Park in there. A piece of like the green seat you would sit on from the old Comiskey Park. But I want to show you guys this. These are fully intact stubs, never torn. And down there in the gray is for the opening day for the final year Comiskey Park in the old Comiskey Park Stadium for the White Sox. And then up above here, this fancier, shinier blue one, that's opening day for the first game in the new ballpark, because it was in the 1990 that Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Sox, tore the old Comiskey Park down, and across the street he built a new one. So that's the old one right there in the old ticket stub for the last opening day at the old stadium. And here's a fully intact ticket stub for the opening day of the new one. And once again, I received the tickets, but I knew if I were to try and attend the game, back then, it's not like it is nowadays, they just scan a barcode and hand it back to you. Back then, they were obligated to tear your ticket, and they would. Unless maybe you wanted to cut a side deal with them. You know, like, hey, can you just, I don't know, mark it or something. But they have to have some way to mark it. And so I thought, well, by not going into the stadium and watching a game, that'll keep my tickets fully intact, where they won't have any reason to tear them. I could just go home and watch the game on TV. But I wanted to keep, you know, as a collector, I wanted to keep the tickets fully intact without being torn. So you're seeing a couple right there from, again, Comiskey Park, which is currently called Guaranteed Rate Field, I believe. Sorry, just a couple of autographs I wanted to show you guys before we duck out of this room. We get back into the basement, look at the sports figures. I actually forgot that I had these in the room here. This one is of San Jose Shark star Patrick Marleau, future Hall of Famer. There you see him in an 8x10 photo, and it looks like he's popping in a goal on a Wings goaltender. It might be Chris Osgood. And this is given to me my collection by my buddy Joe of the Hockey Autograph Seeker. He had like 20 Marleau autographs in his collection, so here, Chris, here's one for yours, so thank you, Joe. And the other autograph is over here. And this is an autograph of Marshall Faulk on a 97 leaf oversized card, as you could see there. And I remember actually buying this pack of cards at my local Kmart. And it was in an oversized like wrapper, if you want to call it that. And you were guaranteed one autograph. And I opened up my pack and I got, you know, 4 or 5 base cards and then this Marshall Faulk autograph in there. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was very happy and satisfied with that pull. Now we're back out of the room and into the basement with this display here, and just to give you some perspective on where we are in the basement. So I'll show you this display here, and this display consists of mostly starting lineup football classic doubles, 2-packs you see there, as well as a couple other figures up in the corner there. So once again, these are the Hasbro starting lineup classic doubles NFL figures of 1998 and 1999. And what the classic doubles does is pairs up 2 star teammates, or in some cases a current NFL star with a version of himself, which we'll see in just a second. Start down here in the right corner, lower right corner. This is the 1998 wave of classic doubles. That's Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, 2 legendary Cowboys. There are 2 legendary NFL linebackers, and this is one of my favorite pieces. There's Junior Seau, paired up with Dick Butkus in the old school Bears helmet. And again, I really dig that piece. Just 2 great linebackers there. There's two great quarterbacks, John Elway paired up with Dan Marino. Marino there in his training camp gear. We saw that earlier in the Jerry Rice Convention figure. Now this Dan Marino kicks off a wave of figures called College Ties. And College Ties are current star Dan Marino there, paired up with younger version of himself, Dan Marino, in the Pittsburgh jersey, where he attended college. That's kind of the theme of these. Almost like a Gemini Man thing going there, the Will Smith movie. Here's John Elway, Broncos star, John Elway, Stanford College star, where he attended college. And here is Emmitt Smith, paired up with Florida Emmitt Smith, where he attended college at the Gators. Terrell Davis, Bronco, and Terrell Davis, member of the Georgia Bulldogs. Cordell Stewart, Steeler, Cordell Stewart, Colorado. Jake Plummer, Arizona Cardinals. Jake Plummer, Arizona State. Yes, he actually attended college in the same state as the team that drafted him. Apologize for the glare on the ones on the end. They kind of get a little bit of glare. Brett Favre, Packer, and Brett Favre, Southern Mississippi State, where he attended college. This Bledsoe's the last one. Drew Bledsoe, Patriots, training camp gear. Drew Bledsoe, Washington State. And now these three packs you're seeing right here, these are actually from 1999. And again, I'm just going to apologize for the glare coming off, the ones on the end. There's teammates Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott. Here's John Elway, Terrell Davis, Broncos teammates. And this one is Vikings receivers Chris Carter and Randy Moss. And I remember, of all the two packs back in 99 that were coming out, this was the hardest one to find at retail because of the Moss figure. 1999 was Randy Moss's rookie year with the Vikings. And for those who remember, he just had a ridiculous rookie season that put him on the map in terms of NFL elite receivers. And so once Hasbro started making starting lineup figures of Moss, they were the hardest and hottest to find in any wave. And there he is in this one. So I do remember that one being the tough one to find. And then over here in the end is another one of those elite figures we saw earlier in the room. We saw the Randy Moss, Emmitt Smith. Here's a Peyton Manning elite figure with a Pacific trading card from 2000. And then up here is a Jameis Winston figure. This looks like a starting lineup, and it even says starting lineup in there, but actually it was not from the same era. This is from a couple years ago. It's a stadium giveaway figure that was given away at a Buccaneers game. Compliments of Mo. Mo got me that one because Mo's, again, really big into stadium giveaway figures. And so it was made of, at that time, Jameis Winston, quarterback of the Buccaneers. He's now with the Saints, backing up Drew Brees, I guess. But it was supposed to be made in the vein of a starting lineup figure. It was a stadium giveaway. Now that brings us to the corner of my basement, which is actually right there. And the better part of this wall is a display of Hasbro starting lineup baseball figures from 99, 2000, and then the final year that Hasbro did starting lineup figures, which was 2001. And now we're actually onto the back wall of my basement with this display here. The bottom display is some starting lineup baseball figures from 99. And then up here in the upper part of the display is more McFarlane sports picks. It's mostly baseball with a little bit of hockey. And then on this side wall here, we see some more starting lineup baseball figures. Here are the earlier ones. They're on the bottom from 97 and then 98. And then a continuation of 2001 starting lineup baseball figures up top there. So here are the baseball starting lineup figures from 1999. And they read very much like the previous starting lineup figures that we had seen. It's the big stars of the game, again, in the late 90s. And we're seeing some of the names there, you know. When you collect these year in and year out, sometimes the lineups and the player selection become kind of formulaic in the sense of every year you pretty much know that Hasbro is going to make a figure of Ken Griffey Jr. Every year it's going to be a Barry Bonds. Every year there's going to be a Cal Ripken Jr. You know, other players, Greg Maddux, would get a figure every year. And then beyond those guys, you know, they would just be like lower level stars, rising stars, and rookies. And that would be kind of comprise, you know, your lineup for that year of players. So there, for example, is your Ken Griffey Jr. in the sliding post from that year, right? That was 99. And then you got a Troy Gloss figure, which was his first figure because at that time in '99, Troy Gloss was a rookie and emerging talent. Same thing with J.D. Drew, a younger star at the time. And then every year, again, you get your Roger Clemens figure. That was kind of a staple. Again, you have to consider it was 98, 99. So I remember this McGwire figure from 99 was one of the hardest figures to find in the wave because back at that time, because of the summer home run race of 98, anything McGwire or Sosa was extremely difficult to find. Extremely difficult to find. Here's a couple Walmart exclusive pieces of McGwire and Sosa. And also, too, we're going to see a lot more of these in my collection because Hasbro was real big on doing a lot of McGwire Sosa stuff at that time because of those two guys breaking the home run record. And there you just see more players, there. Again, you got an Aaron Seeley, but then there's your Sammy Sosa again. And just more big names of the day. Then we get the extended series figures, like there's a Griffey and the Reds, which was the first time they featured him as a Red. There's a Gwynn 3,000 hits figure from extended series, which was a smaller series that came out at the end. Here's another Cal Ripken commemorative figure, 3,000 hits from the extended. A few more of those McGwires are on display here I was telling you about. A couple variations here of the standard issue one. There's one that features him without the shin guard, and then one version of McGwire featuring with the shin guard. And then this was a Walmart exclusive McGwire commemorative figure, again, for the record-breaking home run. But he's got a special starting lineup like hollow card in there in the package. And this is a Walmart exclusive as well, the Mark McGwire 2000 commemorative, where it's got the bigger clamshell and the actual trading card of McGwire. And now dropping down here to the 2001 line that you're seeing. It's in 2001 that Hasbro issues its final run of starting lineup figures, baseball figures, and they actually gave the figures an upgrade, as you're seeing there. They call them starting lineup 2, like 2.0 in other words. And you can see the obvious differences between, again, these figures here that you're seeing from 2001, the final line of Hasbro starting lineups, and the previous years. Once again, you can see the difference in packaging as well as in the figure itself. The level of detail is much sharper, and the figure is actually slightly larger now in 2001 than it was back in the previous years. Again, there's more detail to the figures themselves. They even have a more detailed base inside the package. And then, of course, there's the packaging itself. We go from standard cardboard with a little clamshell in the trading card. That's kind of the formula they used on their starting lineup figures for just, like a decade plus. And now Hasbro goes to a bigger clamshell, still with the trading card inside, but like the whole package is pretty much clamshell, as you can see there, with the Rays starting lineup 2 seal there. All new, bigger figures, more realism, says it right there. Well, the package don't lie. And so, again, as a collector of these figures, I really liked what Hasbro did with the upgrade it gave their figures in 2001. I was really a fan of it. There's a Jermaine Dye Walmart exclusive figure, by the way. I was really excited about what they were doing. And then came the announcement shortly thereafter that this was their final line of figures. I think that's another Walmart exclusive one, Galarraga. This is going to be their final line. They weren't going to do the figures anymore because they weren't going to mess with sports. And it was around this time that Todd McFarlane kind of picked up the torch there, like we talked about, and took it to a whole nother level that I don't think we ever foresaw coming. But again, I really like these figures. I really thought Hasbro was doing itself a lot of good with the upgrade there. There's your Ripken and Piazza. There's Magglio Ordonez, like his rookie figure. Speaking of McGwire again, I think this Pedro was again, Walmart exclusive. There's a whole